Hello, I'm Heather, and this is Steven, and we are SeedFeed. SeedFeed uses moisture sensing RFIDs to help farmers better control water usage.
So right now, farmers have no simple way to measure moisture in soil. So currently, they're constantly overwatering all of their plants. And Ventura actually just had a survey recently that said that farmers overwater all of their plants by 30%. So that's a lot of water. And obviously, California is in a drought, and 80% of all of our water is being used towards agriculture. Water is also the highest cost for farmers. So this is like a really big issue that needs to be addressed.
And we have the solution, and that is SeedFeed. So we have a vision for drones to interact with wirelessly powered long-range RFID tags with sensing capabilities. So as a small kind of demonstration, we have a prototype here. So you have your drone with your RFID reader on it, and it kind of flies over the plants. Whee! And from there, it would be able to identify with the RFID tag inside that also is measuring moisture. When the drone returns to base, here is the device that we'd be using for a base. It then communicates with our portal. As you can see here from our demonstrated version, it'd be able to, from there, measure all kinds of different moisture readings and tell whether it's overwatered, underwatered, or kind of what's going on with the plant. So our value proposition, we are an affordable solution for water management in this dire drought situation that we're currently in. The gross value of crops in Ventura County alone is $2.1 billion. So the market is clearly here, but the affordable solution isn't, and that's what SeedFeed is. So we bring together the affordability of RFID with the efficient reading technology through drones to in turn save water.
So why now? Well, RFIDs are dirt cheap. In bulk, they're only about $1 for this type of RFID. No one is using this technology right now to do this, and the current solutions are incredibly cost inefficient. Right now, farmers, just like everybody else, wants to save money.
So who's our customer? Well, we know it's farmers, but what can we be to be more specific right now? We intend to target a niche market of strawberry growers in Ventura County to begin with, because it'd be kind of an accurate representation of our nationwide market. Actually, strawberry growers alone contribute $609 million in gross revenue just in Ventura. So it would be a great initial market for us to start. We validated our product through many different outlets. Our first source of validation came from a study actually done by MIT and Harvard grads. And they did a similar study using RFID chips to measure moisture. So that was our first form of validation. Our second form of validation came from Minos, who said he'd be our first customer, and he would actually personally experiment with it on his own farm.
So a lot of our competition has already done the work of research for us. They have very similar ideas, but their cheapest sensor is $100 just for one of these. And they've found that by using these sensors, you can increase yield by 17% in strawberry fields and reduce water by 35%. So Syntec is one of many companies that makes the probes, and their very cheapest probe is $100, and that's pretty much what you see across the board. Horta creates, or they have an extensive system which costs thousands of dollars to integrate into a farm. And Farm Solutions uses Syntec and other companies' products and then adds it into an app.
So financials, it's pretty boring. I'm probably the only one fascinated by this in the room, but we'll be brief about it. So basically the RFID chip is very simple and very cost effective. We think that in bulk we can get them for around $1. And then the module components will range from $10 to $20. And then the drone itself can range anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000. It depends on the capabilities you want of the drone, but essentially it's still the cheapest solution on the marketplace, and the only initial cost that you'll have is the drone itself. So that'll be your most expensive initial cost. And then also, one final note on financials, there's also a lot of kind of savings initiatives going on. We found that 60% can be a rebate through the Resource Conservation District just by doing water conserving efforts like this.
So our go-to-market strategy is that we're first going to test with farmers in Ventura for free, so Minos, and also that's going to give us like just a way better idea of all of the issues with this before we actually go and launch. So we're going to start with strawberry farmers when we actually launch, and then expand to other surrounding farmers, and then expand to the rest of California. So come with us. Let's grow something great with SeedFeed.
Thank you.
So great presentation. I see that you definitely study a lot the size of the market, and you want to do it here, which is smart too. But I have a question about the technical viability of your solution. So why do you really need a drone to do this job?
Well, we thought the drone was the easiest solution right now. You can actually do it with like an RC type car. However, fields are quite bumpy and you can get stuck. So the airspace is free and clear. So we figured you could use the drone and essentially it'd be clear space instead of going on the ground and trying to move around with a car.
Understood. But why you have to fly something when why don't you use a radio frequency based sensor?
Well,
instead?
in order for it to be affordable, you need something. So RFID is a super cheap technology. If you want to go with like Bluetooth LE or something else, it's going to be way more expensive, nearing prices that the current systems already have. So this is a more affordable system that makes it more reachable to more farmers.
And you don't have any problem with the cost, the barrier entry for this type of technology, with the new regulation for drones to be used around?
No, we've actually talked to some of our good friends that have drones and use drones legally, and it turns out that on private property, you're allowed to fly your drone up to 300 feet legally. So there's no problems there in the airspace. But in order for us to make it an affordable entry cost without those barriers, the drone seems like the best option right now.
And do you have an idea how many sensors do you need to monitor a specific
We
field?
thought about that, and it's dependent on the farmer, and that's another great option about SeedFeed is it really depends on how accurate you want the readings to be. So the farmer can have the option to spread out their RFID sensors like in a row as much as they want, or they can go as far as they want.
You made a very specific example about strawberry, so you should know exactly how much you need. Do you know?
It would depend. Honestly, like I said, it can go in different directions depending on the market of what they want, depending on the accuracy.
But you want to measure, moisture, so you know what you have to measure. So how many do you need
it's
for
farmer dependent, but yeah. Yeah.
Understand.
Cool.
Have you thought about any options to link this to an irrigation system to control the water flow?
Yeah, so we did think about that. Horta does that right now. We would obviously do that further down the road, but right now it wasn't like an initial thing that we wanted to do, just because we wanted to keep costs low, and we don't know the cheapest way to do that with an irrigation system yet, with hooking it up that way. But I feel like over time, that's exactly where it's going to lead, is having it automated.
And what do you think you will charge service?
Well, right now it would obviously depend on the size of the farm, but we would probably be somewhere between like $3,000 to $5,000 for a farm, for like starting off on a smaller farm. Yeah.
So one more question about the business model. I still don't understand the way you're going to charge and make money out of this.
Well, essentially, we're going to sell the products to them. And from there, there's going to be markups on the products. So if you have an RFID chip and it costs us $1 and you sell it for $5, you have 500%.
Wow, you
basically,
shouldn't say that. You don't say that. Yeah,
No. Our customers don't know that, but I'm just kind of using an
Drive
example.
price down.
I'm using an example for you. Essentially, we're going to be selling it. We're not going to be a licensing base, because we're going to develop.
So you want to sell hardware, so sensor. This is your business. Okay. Who is going to provide the service about the readings of that?
So that would probably be like a monthly licensing fee. Ultimately, I think a goal with the drone, because a lot of people have questioned how and who's going to fly the drone with skill. I think initially we would kind of test it with our farmers and see if they have the capability to fly it. And from there, if they do not, we'd be hooking up GPS to our drones, and then it would be coordinated with coordinates for the sensors. So essentially the drone could fly itself to sensors. And so essentially it'd be very much automated, and there wouldn't be much, but I guess for our portal there'd be a licensing monthly fee.
Where's the crossover point then for number of sensors plus the cost of the drone versus, let's say, the competitor's product? You know, they're more expensive on the sensor, you're cheaper on the sensor. You got a drone, they don't have a drone, so.
Yeah, so pretty much every single competitor, their very cheapest sensor is $100. So no matter what, even if you had 100 of these, you would just break even, you know? Well, 20 if we're selling them at 5 each. But most of their products are just a lot more money because they do mark up the probes so much, and then the reader device, well, they also don't have any databases for all of their for their probes and stuff. The only one that we could find that already has a database is Farm Solutions and then Horta. And so no other company had an app that we could find, at least, that you could just like search it from there.
And also, even with Farm Solutions, they seem to be the most developed in this kind of area of using like technology on the farm. And they're using infrared right now, so it's not entirely accurate at all. So it's not going to give you a good reading of when you're overwatering, where you're overwatering, and how much you should cut back. So ours is going to be able to sense important data like that that's not currently on the marketplace. So yes, we have competitors, but they're only fueling us for further innovation, basically. So.